Hello, everyone. Let's get started. Yeah, please download Laboratory 5 notebook file from Blackboard. And here you can see this link. I just create a YouTube channel. You can find the link from here, and I will upload all the lab recordings after the lab classes, maybe before 3 p.m. If you miss the lab classes, you can watch the videos on YouTube. Okay, you can use this way. I create a playlist you can find from the lab number. All right, and then please use your Anaconda Navigator to open the Laboratory 5. It's about data structures. Okay, let's get started. First, please double click the first cell and input your last name, first name, and R number here. And please make sure it is a markdown cell type, not a code cell type. And then please write. Okay. And the next one, please. Okay, so please run this first script to identify host name, last name, and to identify your host name, username, and the kernel information. Then I will know you are running this lab on your own computer. And today we are going to learn 3 different data structures: lists, tuples, and dictionaries. First, actually, we have already used the list several times, right? We used it in our input and output labs, right? We select some elements from one list. And here is a formal definition about a list. A list is a collection of data that's somehow related, convenient way to refer to a collection of similar things by a single name. Use an index to identify a particular item, right? Here's a way to declare a list. First, you need to have a list name, right? The name rows is the same as a variable name rows, right? You can use the numbers, letter numbers, and underscores as your variable name or list name, but numbers cannot be the first character. And then you can assign it with some values with square brackets, and the elements or the items could be any data type. Could be strings, integers, or floats, or even lists. Actually, I will show you. We will show you some nested or complicated lists or dictionaries in the following examples. And here, append method is very important and widely used. Sometimes you want to append something, you want to add some elements as the end of your list. You can use this append method, right? And actually, and the Python index starts at 0. A lot of other languages start at 1, but for C, C++, Java, Python, they all start at 0. So it means the first element in a list has an index of 0, and the second has an index of 1, and so on. Okay, so for example, here, the 7, my list square bracket 0 has a value of number 7, and the index 1 is the number of 11. Okay, so that's why here 3 means the 4th element. It means the number of 9. Okay, so let's see some concrete examples. First is how to create some lists. You can create an empty list, so only brackets, right? Valid variable name, and then empty list, print out. And after that, add one item to the list, right? So add, then I print it again. So you see, why it's not, that's right. Oh, it's not correct. Here is 765, so it's a result, right? So it's how to declare a list and how to use the append function, right? And let me do it again. So let me do it again and print out again. So as you see, there are 2 atoms in this list, right? Because you do that again, right? So that's why there's 2. So 3. Then it is 3 numbers, right? So you need to understand, but you don't need to revise anything. You just check my demo here. Next one is about define a normal list. Here is there are 8 elements inside this list, and then print out, right? So if you want to access one atom, for example, here you can print my list and then square brackets. Then, for example, 2 means the 3rd element, right? It's 5. So that's right. Let's check. It is 5, right? So the first one would be 0, would be 7, the first one. And then there are 8 elements. So the largest index would be 7. It means the last element. So it means it is the last element, right? Last one. Okay. After that, we can select a sublist from this original list. So it's very important, as you see here. So you can use a square brackets and you use a colon here. The first would be, we call it a start index, and last one would be, we call it end index, right? So the start index will, so the first element of this sublist will start with this start index. It means 3 means the 3rd one, not 3rd one, 4th one, right? So it starts with 9, and then end index is 6, right? So it will, the last element of this sublist will be before the 7th element in the original sub list, right? So it means the 7th. So from the 4th until the 7th. So it means the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So 9, 13, 66. So it is a result, right? Right. And then if you see 7 means then it is this one. And if you leave it as blank, it means to the end. Okay, it means to the end. Or you can say you can leave the start index would be blank, then it would be the first element, right? So start from 7 until the 3rd one. So 7, 11. Okay. And if you leave all blank, it means the whole list. Okay. So list. All right. So let's go back to this example. Next one, we can use the sum and the len function to get the sum the number or the summation of the number or the length of the sublist. As you see, it's a sum of these 3 numbers, and then there are 3 elements, right? But actually, you can also get my list. It is 8, right? So, but you don't need to revise this cell, just run it one time. Yeah. All right. So, any questions so far? Okay, next one we'll continue. Next one we will introduce the some special lists, including tuples and dictionaries. Actually, the tuples is special kind of list where the values cannot be changed after this list is created. So as you see, the definition way is a little bit different. In the list, we use a square brackets to declare, right? But in tuple, we use the round brackets, right? And after that, you cannot change the value. All right. And I will show you if you want to change it, what will happen. And next one, so here is the tuple name about the name of each month, right? So I think no one wants to change that. Oh, sorry. Vincent, can I mute you? Okay, I just muted Vincent. If you have any questions, Vincent, you can unmute yourself and then say it. But yeah, maybe for now I just mute you. Okay. Sorry about guys. Okay, next one is about the dictionaries. Okay, it's fine. Yeah. So if you have questions, you can unmute yourself. Yeah. Next one is about dictionaries. A dictionary is also a special kind of list, but the items are not strings or numbers. They are data pairs. They are key value pairs. The second items could be itself be a list. So dictionary would be a meaningful way to build a database in Python. So actually, as you see, each element, this is one element of a dictionary, and the keys are always string data type, but the value could be a string, an integer, a float, or a list, or a tuple, or even a dictionary. So I will show you that. So here, there are two different ways to declare a dictionary. The first way, you can use the curly brackets, as you see here, curly brackets, and then use the double quotes to represent it is the key data type. And after that, colon here, and then you can use anything, any data types as values. Here is the float, but you can also add the strings or a list. The second way is use the dictionary method. So you use the dictionary method and the round brackets. And after that, you don't need to use the double quotes, but use the assignment operator and then the values, key value, and one element is a key value pairs, right? Key value pairs. So let's see some concrete example. So the first one is about tuple. So you declare a tuple, use a round brackets, as here, run it, and then actually, if you want to change it, for now, if you want to access some elements, you can use the same way as you do in the list, because it's just a special kind of list. For example, 0. If you want to print out the first element of the tuple, you can use this way, right? Square brackets, and then the index number would be January, and then maybe 7th, 11th. 11 means the last one in the 12th, right? December. Okay. But if you want to change it, so for example, if you want to change the last one as the January, for instance, and then let's see what will happen. You see, there's an error, but you can read this error. And let me show you how to read this error. So it says this line has some errors, right? This line, then you will check this line. And then the error type is a tuple object that doesn't support item assignment. So it means you cannot change the values. Okay, so, but you can comment it. You can use the command and slash, then comment this line. After that, it works, right? Because you cannot change it. It's about the tuple example. Next one is about two different declare method of a dictionary, right? The first one is about use the curly brackets, right? And the double quotes and the colon. And next one is about the dictionary method. No double quotes and the assignment operator. But when you print out this, when you print out the dictionary, they are exactly the same, right? And the next one here is also some examples about the tuples and dictionary. The first one, we create the same tuples about the month names, right? the month names, and then print out the fifth of the element of the tuple, then the index would be 4, right? 4 means the fifth element. After you run it, you see the fifth is May, right? The fifth would be May. And then after that, next example is about how to declare a dictionary and how to access different values of a dictionary, right? Dusty, explain, and the names, right? The names about the paths. And then if you want to get the math of the paths, you see, you can use the dictionary name and the square brackets, and then double quotes and the key. You can use the dictionary name, square brackets, and the key to access the value to the key. All right. The printout is this way, right? Aspen math is 6.3. It is the second element. You can use this way to check the second element. And here you cannot actually, let me if you want to choose 2, let me check. You see, if you want to use the index method, it doesn't work. You see, it doesn't work. It cannot recognize what do you mean by this index number, because here is the key value pairs and it's not stored on your own computer with the numbers, the list, right? So you can only access by the keys. So that's why here you need to use the key, not some numbers in the dictionaries. You can use this key, okay? And next one, but you can also change the values to the key. Actually, for example, after you print out the last value, you can change the value from 0.03 to 0.01. And after that, you can do that again. You can access it. You can access the value and print out again. As you see, she lost the weight. Yeah. So, yeah. And the next way is the second way to declare a dictionary. You see, is the result would be exactly the same. All right. So, any questions so far? All right. So, and the next one, I will ask you to revise something. So here, attempt to change a tuple. So please active this line and see what happens. You need to delete this hashtag, delete, or use a command and slash or delete, and run it again. So you will see an error. Then see tuple object doesn't support atom assignment. So because today there's no exercise, so please, this is your exercise. Please make sure to active this line and show me this error. Okay, please show me this error when you submit your work. Okay, so it's about this example. All right, next one is the last example of today's class. It's about some nested dictionary. It's more complicated. So from this dictionary below, we need to print out some like pandemic and Tokyo. First, we need to read. We need to read the dictionary. Actually, you see this is the first element, right? This is the key of the first element, and then the value of the first element. And for the second one, you see this is the second element, but the key would be 2020. But it is a string. It is not an integer, or it's not an integer. It's just a string because it's a key. Okay, all keys are strings. But the second one would be a little bit weird. You see, it's a list. It's not a normal. It's not a string, not a float number. It's a list. But actually, there are 4 different types of the list. You see, the first one would be a number, and second one here is a string, a number again, and string again. Okay, so it's a string. It's a list as the value. And then the third element is the third element. Okay, the key would be bound, and then the value is also a list, but it's a little bit different. the first element of this list is string, but the third element of this string of this list is the tuple. It's more complicated, right? So in a dictionary, the value would be a list, and then the element of the list is a tuple, right? So when you want to find something, you need to be careful, okay? And then print out. It is this nested dictionary, right? And how to find the pandemic? Pandemic, it would be here, right? So it will be the value of this key. That's why here we need to find this key first. Find this key first. Key. Then it is a value, right? So here is a small technique here. If you only have one variable in a cell, it will print out. You don't need to write the print function. But if there are several variables, it will print out the last variable, okay? So for instance, here, if you use it again, so 0. If you use 2 variables inside a cell, it will print out the last one. If you write, you see it will print the last one. All right, so let's check it first. So first one, this is a key, right? And then it is a value. Sorry, let me write. It's a value, and then let's read this value. It's a list, right? If you want to find the pandemic, it's a 4th element. So you need to use the square brackets again, and the index number would be 3, right? To get the 4th element. Then it's pandemic. It's just the same as the next cell, right? And then if you use 1, it means the second one would be COVID. Yes, it's COVID, right? So any questions so far? Okay, next one. Let's check out how to get the Tokyo. Tokyo would be the last value, right? So the first one, we need to use the FD. Check the key name, right? Found the key. Then it is the value of the key bound. Then you check this Tokyo would be a tuple in this list, right? So do that again. So you need to find the tuple first. The tuple would be the 3rd element. So the index would be 2, the tuple. Then you get the tuple. And after that, you need to find the Tokyo. Tokyo will be the second one. So the index will be 1 and right? So if you want to get to the London, so you will use the 3rd one would be 2, okay? And then after that is London, all right? So as you see, it is the how to get the pairs. You see there are 3 variable in this cell, and it will only print out the last one, okay? So if you want to print all of them, you need to use the print function. Okay, you need to use the print function. It's just a small technique of Anaconda, of the Jupyter Lab. All right. Okay, so any questions so far? All right. Here are some readings. So if you want to know more about the data structure, you can read them. And let me repeat again. So today you need to first input your last name, first name, and a number, and run all the cells today, all the cells of today's class. And please make sure to active this line and show me these errors. Okay, and there's no exercise, so that's all you need to finish. And please remember to convert it to HTML and PDF files and submit via Blackboard. Okay, so that's all to share today. If you don't have any questions, please feel free to leave the meeting, and see you on Wednesday. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. error. So here you see, when you activate this line, it means you want to change the element of a tuple because it is a tuple, right? And then you will get an error, means the tuple object cannot be changed. Then it is what I want. All right. You too. You too. Have a good day. Okay. Thank you, guys.